You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next, the April 6, 2022 meeting of the Michigan City Tree Board. You can find information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
So we'll call this meeting to order. Laura, if you would roll call, please.
Clay Putnam.
Here.
Laura Henderson here. James Melowitz absent. Tim Werner
Here.
Mary Nell Murphy here. Paul Przkomalinsky absent at least for the moment. Okay.
And we have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Autographs, please.
All right. Next item on our agenda is approval of the minutes for March 2nd, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes or any comments?
I move for approval.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Minutes are approved. Secretary's Treasurer Report and Claims. Do you have any earth-shattering information on this sheet to talk about more?
No. I'm thinking it does not include our executive sessions. But maybe I have to remind them that we want to be paid for our executive sessions.
Yeah, if you would do that, I think that was pretty much the consensus of all members who did those executive sessions, so. If you would follow up with that, please.
So I move for approval. But I will talk to them about it.
Do we have a motion for approval of the budget performance report for March 22nd?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Communications. Do we have any communications? Any communications? None. We'll move on to the next thing. Mr. Drew White, you have the floor. Tell us about
Hi, everybody.
The
How
Alco
are ya?
studio meeting site.
See, I'm used to being in my office watching you guys on television, and you know,
You watch us.
for some, that's the great thing is I now get paid to watch you guys and the city council and the county commission and everybody like that. But I wanted to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to come. And the reason I come this evening is actually to extend an invitation to you guys and also encourage you to take advantage of this offer. One of the things that Mayor Perry and I and Amber LePage, the attorney, city attorney, have been talking about since I took over as director of operations at Alco back in December is we have this room right now where you guys are currently meeting, but we have Kevin back here behind the camera that nobody ever sees. They think that these meetings just magically show up on their television and on computers and everything. We are coming out of COVID right now. Obviously, over the last couple of years, we've really seen a lot when it comes to how we have been able to conduct public meetings and everything like that by Zoom. You know, we have talked about social distancing and everything like that. And I think that one thing that we have taken out of this particular time is that one thing is hybrid meetings, the capability of participating in meetings virtually really is the wave of the future. It's really something that we need to try and strive to be, you know, whether we're talking about the city council, whether we're talking about the tree board, whether we're talking about the sustainability commission. You know, we want to create a situation where people are able to participate in these meetings without having to be here at 6:30 on Tuesday night, because obviously for a lot of people, work gets in the way, family gets in the way, any number of things prevents them from taking part in the process. So what we are really trying to propose is that we want to make all of these meetings, I mean, we've been showing meetings for the better part of 25 years now, and first it just started out as city council, and eventually I don't recall the number right off the top of my head, but between the city and the county, we at ALCO are responsible for the better part of 45 to 50 different boards and commissions that we capture in the course of a particular month. But what we are proposing is that the city council and some of the larger boards that need the city council chambers, they need that space because of the more high profile nature. They have several seats for the public to come in and watch and everything like that. Tree board doesn't typically have the same following, at least those that are going to come to the meeting. But what we are looking to do, our offices are located at the old Central School at 301 East 8th Street. What we are trying to do is we're trying to encourage several of the boards to come to us rather than having us come to City Hall. The advantages that this ultimately does present is that you are kind of coming to us, so that right now, I mean, when we cover your meetings, we are sending one camera. We're only able to get one angle, and we have to take it back and kind of show everything. You guys do obviously have a TV right here, but I have brought some pictures here to kind of show the setup of the room that we can set up basically however the board or the commission chooses to set it up. But it gives us a little bit more of an option rather than being in one circular position here where Kevin does have to go and kind of pan around the room in order to get everybody. It allows us the flexibility of actually getting everybody on camera at once. But it also opens it up to where we can add a couple extra cameras because we're not having to lug them to City Hall. But I want to, and you guys are the first ones that I've actually come and physically talked to about potentially doing this. We have had some boards that said that they would prefer to just stay at City Hall. A lot of that has to do with the fact that several of those boards have either members or people that are involved that actually work here physically in City Hall. And I believe that most of you guys are actually, they're all volunteers that work outside of the building, so you're not necessarily tied to City Hall in that respect. But if you guys would be willing, and again, you guys can think about it, I don't need an immediate answer, but coming to us and kind of allowing us to improve the way that we're able to capture the tree board and present it to the public. Again, we're at ALCO, we're really trying to make it easier to follow what goes on in city government. And my ultimate goal is I want people to be able to turn on Channel 97 or go on to YouTube or go onto our website and watch a meeting, but at the same time I want them to be able to go to the eMichigan City website, pull up your agenda, the same one that's in front of you, and they're able to follow along with the meeting. And that kind of teaches people, you can have kids. You can, put your kids in front of the television, and it teaches them how these boards and commissions work. And, our ultimate goal is to try to encourage more people to participate in the boards and the commissions. It's just a lot of times it's a dedicated, and obviously you are all among those that are dedicated and willing to put in the time to help the community. And we know that you're not getting paid a whole heck of a lot to participate in these meetings, but you guys are providing a tremendous service. Right now we have several boards and commissions where there just are not individuals that have stepped forward to take part in the process, and we are trying to kind of fill that gap and really use our resources to be able to encourage people to participate in the tree board, to participate in sustainability, to participate in all of the other boards and commissions that we have. So, again, we don't need an immediate answer, but we wanted to float it out to you and see if you would be interested in relocating over to the 301 East 8th Street building. And I will be forwarding you guys the information, and if you would like to, if you don't have if I don't answer your questions this evening, please feel free to reach out and let me know what those questions are. But do you guys have any questions or concerns?
I know that room. It's 2 blocks from my house. Yeah, you know that too.
I know that room.
Well,
I'm on the board at Meals on Wheels, and
Okay.
we meet in that
Yeah.
room occasionally as well. So, so you wouldn't be taking over that room altogether, would
No,
you?
no,
Okay.
no.
Asking with a different
That's the
hat.
great thing. We have a really good relationship. Actually, Alco has been located in that building, I believe, for the better part of 20 years. And I mean, it's just, there's a lot of nonprofit organizations. Obviously, Meals on Wheels is Cheryl and everybody are my neighbors right next door to my office. But, you know, we also have several other entities within that. And obviously, it's best known as the trades, NECA, IBEW.
I was just gonna ask if Nika was still there. Wasn't
Yeah.
sure if they were still there.
Yeah.
So it's
And
a shared space?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, ultimately, long term, we are hoping to get. There was a room that actually was right next door to our studio that, for the longest time, had sat empty. And when I first came on, we were sitting here doing one of these things. Now, those that have been downstairs in City Hall know that we have an emergency operations center, as they call it, but they have kind of like these rolling, they're not necessarily folding tables, but it's just, you can basically create any shape you want to have with those tables down there. And that's my ultimate goal, is to create almost a mini city, council chamber, to where, the only thing, and again, those that are watching at home, I might even give these pictures to Kevin, and he might be able to put something together when this actually airs on TV. But one of these is a very long conference room table, and then the other ones that we are using in the interim are folding tables. This conference room table isn't moving, let's put it that way. These folding tables, we have a little bit of leniency to, manipulate them how they can, but you can kind of see how, again, in order to get everybody on camera here, it wouldn't require panning around to everybody, and it kind of gives people the ability to have everybody on camera. And I know that during the Zoom episode, there was a lot of talking about whether your camera had to be on in order to participate and vote and everything like that. But it's just, a lot of the people that do watch, they like to have that shot where everybody is there. But again, with our studio actually being there, and that's with all of our cameras, we actually would have the ability of maybe adding a second or even a third camera to the setup, to where, we would be able to get a little bit more, closer. And it just gives us a lot more options when it comes to, our ability to present it as well as we can. So.
That was a question I was going to have, cameras as far as Zoom meetings. That I noticed you have a monitor in there. Is there a camera on that monitor as well as cameras you set up? So if we have, because we have had people call into these meetings and had conversations with them down in the council chambers downstairs.
Yeah, ultimately, we really do believe that the future, with the city council, and I believe even with the tree board, you guys were meeting Caleb Goodwin, who really has done a tremendous job getting us through the COVID period. All of these meetings were broadcast live on the My Michigan City Facebook page, so that people were able to watch, and they could not necessarily participate via Facebook Live, but it gave people the opportunity to actually watch these meetings as they did. One of the biggest criticisms of Access Support County, and it's something that we're going to solve, and I'm hoping that it's going to be solved here within the next couple months. people don't know what's going to be on at any given time. You know, it's like if someone were to come to you and say, when does the tree board, come on Channel 97? You can't give them it's on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Ultimately, my goal is to create a situation where every board and every commission is going to have their own time slot, and probably 2 time slots, so that basically if you guys know that your slot is just hypothetically Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. So people would know when to set their DVRs to actually watch it.
Or know when to turn off the TV.
Now, and then again, our big thing is that we do work with Comcast cable. The public access television is one of those things that, a lot of people have cut the cord, so they don't subscribe to Comcast, so they say, how does this apply to me? In addition to being seen on Comcast cable, we also do log the last year's worth of meetings that you can go to our website at accesslaportecounty.org, and you can find all of those meetings broadcast back there. If you go into our studio now, we have, I just mentioned 25 years, we have probably about 25 years worth of DVDs with municipal meetings going back to literally the late 90s. Our ultimate goal is that we're going to try and log all of those onto YouTube. We have in the past had a situation where if people wanted copies of particular meetings, they could come into us and purchase a DVD for $25. I'm not interested in making a bunch of money off of $25 DVDs. I mean, my ultimate end game is I want to be able to have all these meetings available to people for posterity. And my goal is to take all of those CDs, get them onto YouTube so that people, if for whatever reason you want to see the April 7th, 2002 meeting of the tree board, go on YouTube and you'll be able to find it. Again, it's a long-term goal for us, but it's just knowing that we have had cameras at a whole lot of municipal meetings over the years, and we're contracted with the city, and it's our job. It's what we need to make sure that the proceedings are documented so that people can know what's going on in their community.
I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
It sounds like this will make it much easier for us to have a hybrid meeting.
I believe that.
We won't have to try to schedule the chamber
Correct.
chamber, but you'll still need a little bit of lead time, right?
Well, I believe that you guys have a normal, is it the second Wednesday of every month? That you
It's the
typically
first
work?
Wednesday.
First Wednesday?
First Wednesday of every month.
At 6.
Occasionally in January and July because of the holidays.
Right.
We make it the second, but
Yeah.
the default is the first.
Yeah, no, I mean, and so another one of my goals with Alco over the last, we're almost going on 5 months now, but with all of the meetings that we have, like I said, between the city and the county, I believe it's in the neighborhood of 40 different commissions. And my worst nightmare over the last 5 months have been my phone ringing and saying, we're about to hold a meeting, where are you guys? I mean, that's just, and what I will do is I want to give credit to Kevin back here and Lee Schelling back in our control room, and Andy Steele and Anna Galloway, who helps us down with work, and Dan Foster is not with us anymore, but he's always there to help us in a pinch. For almost a year last year, in the absence of a director of operations, they made darn near every meeting. I mean, if there might have been 1 or 2 meetings that, they kind of slipped through the cracks, but, they did a really good job of making sure that they kept in contact with everybody that was involved in the boards and everything like that. But again, we're coming off of just an unprecedented 2-year span right now. I mean, with cancellations, with, everything that's involved in the pandemic, they did a valiant job of keeping everything straight. it has been a challenge with the city and with the county, making sure that we know when all the meetings are. And it's one of my goals to try and make it easier for the public to know when the various meetings are. Because it's like, if we don't know when the meetings are, then Joe out on 6th Street sure as heck isn't going to know when these meetings are taking place. So, that is one of our goals as well.
This would take a lot of pressure off of Caleb, right?
Yes, and obviously Caleb has been doing tremendous work and doing all of this, and yes, he would like to have a vacation, and so I am kind of his knight in shining armor, and he has been the person that's made sure that all of these meetings have gotten on to My Michigan City and everything like that, and he is an IT individual. That's not really what he signed up to do when he first came to the city of Michigan City 2 or 3 years ago. So it's like I am now hoping to be able to free him up to actually go do the things that he is qualified to do and everything like that.
We may have to schedule another executive session soon, or maybe two.
So like how much lead time and that, what's the,
Yeah, because they won't be filmed for the public, but
that's
we
right.
would have to have, we might have to have,
a record?
no,
No.
Zoom.
Oh, I
Because
see.
this last time we
good
thought
point.
we were going to interview somebody
That's
from
right.
Evansville.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I mean, and again, that is one of our goals. I am a very big believer in Zoom, and I believe that Zoom should be incorporated in any meeting. I mean, if we can do it for all of them, I think that it would be in our best interest to have all of them.
And it
on
would
Zoom.
probably be out of our regular scheduled time, so.
Yeah, and when I was talking about the schedule for Channel 97, we have what I call the Big Four. It's the Michigan City City Council, the Michigan City Board of Public Works, the LaPorte County Commission, and the LaPorte County Council. Basically, those 4 entities do not overlap anything, but those are, again, kind of your equivalent to the United States House of Representatives and everything like that. All of the other boards and commissions, it's not necessarily as important that they are shown live, but the give and take on that is that if we do these via Zoom, then we can have them live on Facebook. It's just not necessarily live on television. Now, for all the people that have, made their main complaint that nobody knows when stuff is coming out on Channel 97, I think that it would be a compromise for them to know that they would know exactly what time this board or commission is going to be on. It just might not be live. Yeah. But again, I will give you guys all of my information. I will forward you all of my information. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. And
I think it sounds great.
appreciate it. Yeah.
What's your website?
It is Access LaPorte County, all one word, .org. And again, if you go to that website, so the origins of Alco was actually, it had to do with the internet. It was founded back in the days before Google. It was almost like a Yellow Pages for Michigan City. It was a place where you had the website links for the News Dispatch and the Herald Argus and all of these different entities. And it was kind of a one-stop shop where people could go and have the links to all of the different things. The city of Michigan City, the city of LaPorte. It was meant to be.
Police and fire. I remember all those numbers, non-emergency numbers, and everything were in the beginning.
Yeah, and one of the things I will say is that we're going to be getting back to our roots. I mean, one of the big words that I've done a lot of investigating and going back and reading the articles of incorporation and everything like that. One of the big words is index. There's a lot of information from Michigan City that unfortunately is just not really kept in one centralized place anymore. If you go over to the library, you might be able to find it, but with everything that has happened in Michigan City, the newspaper has become much, 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 much smaller. And again, that is not to say anything about the individuals that are responsible for putting said newspaper together, but when you take a newsroom that used to be 50 some odd people and now you have it down to 3 or 4 people, the people that are left, they're doing their best to try to get information out, but in a lot of ways it's really kind of the public is finding how important it is to be able to find their own information. A lot of times people never really got, you never saw press releases issued to the public. Press releases were issued to the newspaper, which then, turned them into a story, which then got to the public. But we're now in a world where, companies or cities will put out the press releases and it'll just go out to the public. And I think that that's ultimately where we have to go with all of it. But, my big thing, obviously, I coached Tim's daughter in golf way back when, but most people in Michigan City and even
Well, that way back.
know me more as a sports guy, whether it be as a sports writer or as a coach, but I am a very big person when it comes to sports information. There's a lot of sports information over the last couple decades that's kind of been lost because we don't have the same sports departments at the newspapers and the radio stations and everything like that. So a lot of that has been lost. But my goal is to create a place where all of this information can go in. And then ultimately, if someone in 2050 wants to know who had the most strikeouts for the Michigan City Wolves baseball team in 2023, they will be able to know. And so that's kind of where we're hoping to go with Access LaPorte County. But hopefully that's answered all of your questions. Anybody else have any other questions? All right, well, I'm going to let you guys get back to tree business, but don't hesitate to reach out. And if there's any questions I can answer, please feel free to.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in, and thank you very much.
My pleasure. All right. I'm going to get on. Kevin, you have to stay. That's why I pay him the big bucks. Don't laugh, Kevin. All right, that's the most laughs we've had in this one. Everybody have a great
All right,
night.
thanks, you too.
so much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right along. Item 7 of our agenda, committee reports. First item we had on there was outreach for Laura. Anything in outreach, Laura? All right, education,
No,
gardening, landscaping,
no.
monthly news and tips. That was something Laura Koch usually hit on. Public relations, anything there we need to talk about right now?
Well, I'm thinking about the 23rd and the 7th.
The 23rd and the 7th.
And I see that's noted in the agenda too there for plan
Okay.
for Earth Day extravaganza. I mean, right
Okay.
after, right in that
Okay.
same line there, you got
That
it.
was our
You got it.
forward to our Arbor Day and Farmers Market Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the mayor's proclamation.
Okay.
Do we know when the proclamation's gonna be? Will that be on Earth Day?
Well,
or-
I think he writes it
Okay.
and let the president reads it
Yeah, I
at the
think at the
event.
meeting, whenever.
somehow.
Oh, at that meeting,
At the
gotcha.
meeting they do
Okay.
that, yeah.
So,
Thanks.
I mean, we have 2 events. So, I don't know if we pick one to be our Earth Day. I think the Earth Day extravaganza would be fine for that. Or we could do it at the farmer's market as we usually do.
Yeah,
But,
I have not heard from Laura as far as the list of trees and that for the tree pickup when it's gonna happen. I indicated last meeting I'm available to go down and pick up the trees, so we need to find out when that can be done. And I think probably the farmer's market, the first day, the Saturday, May 7th, is probably a better day to do it. When we know people will be there and we won't have to make a special invite for people. We can just kind of join onto their coattails like we've done last year.
Right.
So,
Can we give the dates of, I believe Arbor Day is the 29th, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
April
Arbor Day
29th.
officially is the
which
29th.
we've never really done it on that day
All right.
because we're always waiting for the first
First
Saturday.
farmer's market day, yeah. And this is about the latest it's ever gonna happen.
And
Yeah.
the first Farmers Market Day is May 7th.
May 7th, the first Saturday of May, yeah. So I think that's what we'll shoot for our tree giveaway. Does that make sense? Everybody that.
I said we were gonna give away trees on the 23rd too.
We
so
could, we could do that, but where
I
would
think
we?
we're gonna have a lot of trees.
Where would we wanna do that?
At the,
Someplace?
at,
The
at
library?
the extravaganza,
Which is at the library?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, which I said we were gonna participate in, and you'll be there for Audubon.
I'll be there for Audubon, yes.
All right, well, let's plan on that then. You can get whatever information into the
Okay.
library's advertisement of the event that we're gonna be there too.
Uh-huh.
What do you got going on? Think?
I'll be out of town that weekend.
See, you missed the fun again.
I
You'll be
know.
around the next weekend, right? You'll be there for the farmer's market on the 7th.
No, that's when I'm gonna be gone.
Oh,
Is
how about the 23rd?
the 23rd?
23rd, the extravaganza at the library.
Hang on 1 second. And that's May?
Yeah,
April.
April
April
23rd.
23rd.
April 23rd.
Yes, I will be here, and that's,
It's from 12 to 3.
And if
That's
needs be,
the-
I can double staff. I mean, if the tables are close by each other, you know.
Let's hope they are. I can ask that they are.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, find out what they'll need, because I can bring the tables that I brought last year. I have a couple of those
Okay.
folding tables, so I can
I
bring
think we'll
that.
have tables, but
I
we
think the
might need
library
more.
will.
Yeah.
We might need more, so.
I need
And you'll be
buckets.
there also?
Yep, I'll be there also.
And maybe we'll have the trees outside or right there.
I would imagine
There's-
that's what we can do, is just have them out either on the parking lot on the side or right near the front door.
Huh.
Set up our table out there rather than taking wet, drippy trees.
Oh, I think we should take wet drippy trees
Yeah,
in.
we could take them in.
Well-
We can be in the
well-
courtyard inside, it's just everybody getting in and out of the courtyard to be a
and
challenge.
that's
Oh,
at the
that would be
library?
interesting.
Yeah.
Or we could just, you know,
Have a discussion with them and see what they
Okay.
think, because I know the what is it, the mulchy peat that they have all the trees in was very, very wet
Uh-huh.
last year.
which is good for the trees.
Bad for the carpet in the library.
Yeah, really.
And that's at the library.
Yes.
Yes.
Do we have a time on that?
Noon
12
to
to
3.
12 to 3?
Yep.
Okay.
And I think that's about the same time for the farmer's market, isn't it?
Was
No,
that early?
the farmer's
Or
market
do they
is
open
8
earlier?
to 1.
8 to 1?
Yeah.
That's right, it is
It's
early.
early.
Yeah, I used to get up for that early, now I just roam in at 10:30 or 11.
But we won't have the proclamation at 8.
Okay. So, I need to get the information for picking up the trees, where to go, who to talk to, phone numbers and that, so if you could email that to me, then I can work on getting that before the 23rd and be ready for that.
Okay.
And then I'll,
Is that what Laura's ordering for us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Laura has ordered it.
She has.
She had to order it last fall.
yeah,
Because if we order it now,
Well, it's gonna be too late.
you're
I'm
not
sure.
gonna get very
No.
much you want.
And have we talked to her about the ETA on those things? Do we know? when-
That's-
I talked to
what
her
we
in the
need to find
past,
out.
but I haven't talked to her recently about
Well, the
it, so-
reason I ask is
Yeah.
because of the supply chain issues that have been occurring.
Well,
You know,
they
I don't know
come-
if that's an issue with,
I don't think
the-
so. They're coming from Bologna
okay,
up to Jasper, Pulaski. So they're not coming
Okay.
from China.
well,
Or-
right, but
Yeah.
even still, you know, there's a number of growers that are having a hard time filling orders. And even from last year.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, it's even a problem in the plant industry.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, follow up with
I'll check
Cock
with Laura.
if you can, and
Yeah.
It's worth
see
a
if
phone
she's
call
heard anything,
anyway.
yeah.
You know,
Because
just,
I don't want to really drive all the way down there and
I
find the
know.
gate locked.
well, right, yeah.
Wait a minute,
That
no
won't work.
trees available,
To
wait a
who?
minute.
that won't work.
So we'll hear from you then when you follow up, thank you. Next item, city park trees with the forester, which we don't have yet. Tree walk, any discussion on the tree walk? None at this time, okay. City street trees again, Franklin Street lighting we talked about before, nothing new. Grant application and maintenance with the forester when we get that position filled. Planning department, I have not been able to get in touch with Skylar to talk about coordination with trees and that, and as well as not just planning department, but park department as well. I need to talk with Ed Shin and Skylar and say, hey, what can we do as a tree board to help you guys, and what can you do to help us? So,
I wonder if the planning commission, I wonder if that was Larry Zimmer. Because I think he's the president of that board. And he was on the sustainability board, and he was the one who invited Daniel Pointer from Sienna, from Carbon Neutral Indiana, to speak to the planning board.
All right.
So I wondered, so,
I will follow up with planning and with Scott and see where we go, and I'll try to get in touch with Ed Shin as well and have a discussion with him as what we can do as a tree board to help them and what they can do to help us get trees planted. Urban forest plan, tree city designation. Let's talk about that, Mary, since
Okay.
you have some additional
Show and
new
tell.
information.
Yes. So this is what we've received, Michigan City's received from, Harbor Foundation for Tree City Foundation. And we've got the, 22 years, stickers to be updated on the signage, and, a banner. And then they said I'm just noticing, that says they included a brass maple leaf, which I do not see. So there's a phone number here. I'll give them a call and see. I don't know what we ever did with that either, but that it's not in there. And
I don't know, somewhere here in City Hall there's a stack of brass maple leaves,
It
maybe.
could be. Enough for a whole tree. And then, this says plaque addition, so all we have is this. So I think I will call them and see if this is what they expected that we would receive as well. Where does this go? And I would be happy to follow up with that department if needs be. I'm saying it because I'm curious about Bird Town.
Right.
Would we get that designation?
I would think, Mary, probably the thing to do would be to talk to Dahlia, since she's probably had the most recent experience with the signage and everything with
Right.
the tree
Well-
city, right?
I got this from her.
And I know
After it was sent to her, but it's
Right.
as far as
Right.
like
Where it
how
goes
we do the
next.
stickers.
So the
where the
stickers-
original signs are is probably at Central Services, which used to have the forester.
Well, and Dahlia did mention the location of those signs a few meetings ago.
Oh, okay.
And I don't recall if it was Central Services or another department
I don't
location,
recall that. I
but
remember her mentioning it.
I'm almost positive that Dahlia knows of their location.
Okay, well, I'll find out.
Yeah, if she's not aware of this information, let me know, and then I'll try to track it down through the mayor's office and see what they can get to
Okay,
me.
so I won't call any department directly then.
Not unless you love to.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
And then the banner, is there any particular use for that, a location?
But we can put it up on our tables when we're giving
Oh,
away
right,
trees.
Tree
yeah.
giveaway.
Oh, that's a great
Okay,
idea.
good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
How big is it, does it say? Have you read the package?
4 by 6.
Okay.
Well,
I was
good
hoping
size.
it
Does it
wasn't.
Very
have
good.
grommets
20 by
or
30 or
something to
something.
attach it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it does have grommets.
It's a
Yeah.
flight. Okay.
Okay. Excellent.
All right. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Goals, fundraising efforts. I think right now the only thing we see coming would be any donations at the tree giveaway. Is that correct? Anybody have any other
I don't
ideas?
have any
things?
brilliant plans at
Okay.
this time.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention that the money that was collected last year at the 2021 tree giveaway, that money was used by Laura Koch to partially pay for the trees that were ordered this year.
Okay.
So that's where that money wound up going.
Okay.
And she had to front the rest of the money. So, and she said, if we make a decision to pay her back, that's fine, and if we don't, that's fine too. So that's nice.
Do we know what the,
Yeah.
What the exact amount is? I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, I think it's worth a discussion, just
Yeah.
to see if
Yeah.
it's something that we can manage.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
And that's a great idea to put this out at the farmer's market and at the Earth Day
Yep,
extravaganza.
It's too
Yeah.
big to just go in front of the table. It would
Yeah, I
be
wonder
beautiful
if-
behind us, but I
Yeah,
don't know
is
how
there
we
a wall
would do that.
behind? You know, we could maybe put a two-sided tape or something on.
I'll touch base with the library.
Yeah, let's see what kind of space they think we can have. We might, if we're near the front entrance, we might be able to just put it up on the wall in the library.
Or if we're right by the door to the,
Yeah,
to
going into
the outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Old business. Says consider changes to tree ordinance to keep up with changing times.
I just put that on the agenda, so I don't want it to drop into oblivion.
What, I have not read the ordinance lately. When I first came on the board, I did, and
Yeah.
that's been some time ago now, so I probably need to refresh myself and you too, so maybe it's for all of us to just kind of take a look at the tree ordinance with the city and see if there's anything we want to consider possibly modifying for the 21st century.
Good, very good, yes.
Before it's the 22nd century.
New business, or
Okay.
major discussion.
Yes.
Arborist, forester position.
Yes.
I have requested from the mayor's office by phone message, voicemail, the information on the link to the job description and see if we can open the position back up. I have not gotten a response yet from Chris. I didn't get anything back yet today, so I'll follow up with him again tomorrow and see what that link is and try to get that distributed so we can at least show at the different organizations that we were
Yes.
talking about to let them know that we have this position available. They can go look at what our job description is.
Here's the job description.
Now, are we free to publish that?
Yes.
Okay.
We are?
We are, according to Chris Yagelski, yes.
And so the two organizations that I looked up were the International Society of Arborists. That's a really international organization of arborists. And they do have a job board. It's an active job board
Good.
that we can post to,
Good.
but we have to be a member. And
Uh-huh.
there's a $135 fee to be a member.
Can we beg one of the neighboring arborists to post it? I don't know if that's,
That's a good idea, but I would think that we also need the link then.
Right,
You know.
right. So we really can't do anything until we get the link, so.
And then the second is the Indiana Arborists Association. And it's free to post at their site. We just need to send them what needs to be published.
Uh-huh. And that seems a more direct one for Indiana, you know, rather than internationally.
And quite frankly, as an organization, I don't see the, actually, I see more of a benefit than not to join the International Arborist Society. I mean, if for nothing else, this very reason.
Right.
It's $135 a
as
year.
the tree board.
Correct.
And is that an annual fee?
It's an annual fee. Mhm.
How does that fit into our budget? Can we get that from the city council or whatever to be able to, because I think I remember sometime that the tree board had a certain amount of discretionary funds for training or things which the arborist would use.
Yeah,
And if we
Which
don't have an
doesn't-
arborist, perhaps
yeah.
we could use the money this year to become a member of this association to try to get an
Yeah,
arborist
this
for.
confuses me so much.
And I'm sure it would have other benefits too for,
Right.
you know, an arborist when we do, / forester, when we do get one, that they could use that site for other things.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a professional resource
Right,
for
yeah,
that
yes.
person.
Yeah,
Continue education as well, so I
Yes.
think they have those opportunities.
yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me try to get in and talk to the mayor and try to get in and talk to Amber and see what she thinks as far as where we're able to spend some of this little bit of money that we have.
Well, right, and even if an appropriation can be made,
Right.
if it's not currently available.
Yep. So I'll try to do that here, maybe by the end of next week. I don't know if I'll get
So,
through this one.
when we're able to get that link, if somebody wants to send that to me, I'm happy to
The minute I get it, I will.
go onto the state
Yeah.
site and at least get it posted there.
Great, yeah.
I guess what we're gonna have to decide, or somebody can tell me later, is, what's the end date
How long is the opening gonna be?
advertised?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm not aware of. I know they just closed the opening after our last brush with near hiring.
I mean, I suppose if we
Right,
could leave it open-ended and just mention until filled.
That's what I would like to do it, I think,
Yeah.
based on our
Yeah.
experience so far.
Yeah.
So I'll discuss that.
When I was
With the
talking to
mayor's
Chris,
office.
he was talking about posting on something called Indeed, and
Indeed,
that
yeah.
it was pretty expensive. They charged by the day.
Well,
He didn't tell me how much.
it depends. We advertise a lot on Indeed for our work, and it can get expensive. Just as a basis of comparison, we were spending between $1,000 and $1,400 a month. Yeah, and it's all based on clicks. Yeah. They have some other programs that I'm not familiar with that changes the pricing structure a little bit, but by no means am I an expert on it, but
I don't think he's.
One thing I know that was kind of thrown about the last meeting or in emails and things was the title for the position. What do we think about that? I don't remember, how are we advertising it? Last arborist,
It's,
just an arborist last time?
yeah, it says arborist.
And we think we might want to change that to city urban forester?
Yeah.
I believe somebody mentioned that.
I think that's a good idea. It wasn't me that mentioned it, but I
Was it
think
Jim?
that would be
It must have
was.
been Jim, because none of us.
I'm thinking also when you were talking about the code, I mean, I think in there it calls it forester.
It seemed
Yeah.
like that's what we were trying to do
Yeah.
at first, and we switched to arborist for some reason towards the end of last year.
We didn't switch.
Oh,
It was
okay.
switched.
Okay, okay. Okay.
The city urban forester.
Forester seems to be the more representative of what the position is. So I will have that discussion with Amber as well, if it's
Okay.
an issue for us changing the title of the
Or
position.
we should look in the
Yeah,
ordinance and see what
Right.
it says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
I think forester.
It does say forester. It might say city forester, but that I don't recall.
Yeah.
And I think we'd either want city or urban. I mean,
Yeah.
but
It's
yeah,
kind of-
what the code says.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
All right, so if let's have that certainly on the agenda, discussion of what we found at the next meeting for all of us doing our investigation into the ordinance and titles and things, and I'll get back on what I was able to find out with the city department's legal and other, to see how we can move ahead with trying to get this position filled again.
Yes.
Anything else on that item? Any other new business?
It would be nice to get that new business behind us.
Yes, it would. I like it to be old business.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, hearing none, that's items closed. Item 10 on our agenda, comments from board members. Any comments from board members? Mary, do you have any comments?
No, just,
Being your first official meeting, I'll throw it to you.
Oh,
first.
yeah.
no, but very happy to be here.
We're happy
We're
to
happy
have
to
you.
Happy first meeting day.
Thank you.
Clay?
No, nothing at the moment.
Or none? I have none either. I'd like to thank everyone for becoming a member and joining us here again today. Thank you. And thank you everyone out there watching. And at that, our next meeting will be May 4th. Mayor's conference room here until we decide to possibly move in a change of venue.
Is that going to be is that topic going to be on the next agenda?
I think it should be too,
So,
to discuss if we're.
Okay,
Location.
Yeah, location of our meeting. And so I think if anybody, any members of the board have a chance to stop by and actually, you know the meeting and you do too.
What's the
already.
address?
301 East 8th Street,
Correct.
the old central school.
There's a parking lot in back of it, then you go through.
East
Big-
8th?
Yes.
East 8th.
you want to go in on 9th Street though,
Correct.
Okay,
parking lot, and then the building kind of goes to a corner and there's a door.
okay.
So check that out, and then we'll kind of roll it around and see if that's what we want to do following the meeting. I'd like to motion for adjournment. Do I have a motion?
And are there public comments? Do we ask for those or?
Oh, true, I just skipped that. I don't know of any public comments. There's no one here, so.
Kevin?
Kevin, public comment?
Okay,
Hearing none.
Okay.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
so move.
Second.
Yep.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
And we are done. Thank you,
All right,
everybody.
Kevin, thank you very much.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah.